Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of everyday life? With the pressures of work, family, and endless responsibilities, do you ever wish you could find a simple way to regain inner peace? Imagine if there were just one habit you could adopt that could transform your life from the inside out. What if there was a timeless lesson, hidden in the ancient wisdom of Zen, that could free you from stress, anxiety, and restlessness? Let me share a powerful story with you. A tale that not only captivates the heart, but teaches us a simple Zen habit, one that can change the way you live, breathe, and perceive the world. It's the story of a young seeker, a wise monk, and the unexpected journey that transformed not only their lives, but also the lives of many others. Toshi was a young man who lived in a small village nestled between towering mountains and a calm river. From the outside, his life seemed peaceful, surrounded by nature's beauty. But inside, Toshi was restless. His mind was always racing. Worries about the future, regrets from the past, and the pressure of living up to the expectations of others consumed him. He wanted more from life but didn't know how to find it. Despite his village's quiet surroundings, Toshi's heart yearned for something deeper. One day, after a particularly restless night, he decided to visit a wise monk who lived in a secluded temple high in the mountains. It was said that this monk had an aura of peace that calmed even the most troubled souls. Toshi believed if anyone could help him, it would be the monk. So, early one morning, he set off on the long, steep journey up the mountain. The climb was arduous, but Toshi felt a sense of determination he hadn't felt in years. Upon reaching the temple, he was greeted by the monk, a serene figure with kind eyes, sitting by the temple's entrance. "Welcome, young one," the monk said with a soft smile. "I sense your heart is heavy. What brings you here?" Toshi hesitated, unsure of how to put his feelings into words. I feel lost. My mind is always restless. I don't know how to find peace or how to live without constantly worrying." The monk nodded thoughtfully. "Restlessness is a common ailment of the mind. But tell me, are you ready to let go of the noise and learn the way of Zen?" Toshi's eyes brightened. "Yes, master, I am ready to learn anything that will bring me peace." The monk stood and gestured toward a small, humble garden behind the temple. "Walk with me," he said. As they walked through the garden, the monk stopped by a single flower, delicate and beautiful, standing alone in the center of a stone path. He knelt and gazed at the flower for a long moment, saying nothing. Toshi watched, confused. Finally, the monk spoke, his voice calm and deliberate. "Tell me, young one, what do you see?" Toshi looked at the flower. "I see a flower, master," the monk smiled. "Yes? But do you truly see it? Or is your mind already wandering to the next moment, the next thought, the next worry?" Toshi blinked, realizing that his mind was elsewhere, thinking about what the monk would say next, wondering if this would lead to the peace he so desperately sought. The monk continued, "This flower, right here in front of us, is life. But most people never truly see it. Their minds are stuck in the past or rushing toward the future. Rarely are they fully present. The simple act of being fully present, of truly seeing the flower, feeling the wind, hearing the sound of your breath, is the heart of Zen." Toshi frowned, feeling a twinge of disappointment. "But how does that help me find peace?" The monk stood, placing a gentle hand on Toshi's shoulder. "Peace doesn't come from outside of you. It isn't something you can chase or achieve by thinking harder. It comes from being fully present, from letting go of the constant noise in your mind. The habit I will teach you is called Zazen, the practice of sitting in stillness, fully aware of the present moment." Toshi's eyes widened. "Sitting still? That's the habit that will transform my life." The monk chuckled softly. "It sounds simple, doesn't it? But that is the beauty of Zen. The most profound truths are often the simplest. Sitting in stillness, observing your breath, and bringing your mind back to the present moment again and again, this is how you break free from the prison of your thoughts." Eager to find peace, Toshi decided to stay at the temple and learn the habit of Zazen from the monk. Every morning before dawn, Toshi would sit in the garden, legs crossed, spine straight, hands resting gently on his knees. At first it felt strange. His mind would wander constantly. Thoughts of his village, worries about the future, and even frustration with himself for not being able to quiet his mind. "Why is this so difficult?" Toshi asked the monk one day after a particularly challenging meditation session. "My mind won't stop racing. I feel like I'm failing." The monk smiled warmly. "Ah, but that is the nature of the mind, young one. It will wander, and that's okay. The practice of Zazen is not about stopping your thoughts, but about becoming aware of them and gently guiding your focus back to the present moment. When you notice your mind wandering, simply return to your breath. Over time, you will find more and more peace in the stillness." Toshi nodded, though he still felt unsure, but he continued the practice day after day, and slowly he began to notice small changes. His mind, while still noisy at times, no longer felt like a chaotic storm. There were moments, brief but beautiful, where he felt truly at peace, fully present in the moment. One evening, as the sun set behind the mountains, Toshi sat in the garden, gazing at the same flower the monk had shown him on his first day. This time he truly saw it. The vibrant colors, the delicate petals, the way the wind made it dance gently. For the first time in his life, Toshi felt like he wasn't missing anything. He was fully there with the flower, with the moment. Months passed, and Toshi's life transformed in ways he never expected. The worries that once consumed him began to fade. He no longer felt anxious about the future or weighed down by the past. Instead, he found joy in the simple moments of life, the sound of the river, the warmth of the sun, the laughter of a child. One day, the monk approached Toshi, who was meditating by the river. "You have learned well, young one," the monk said. "Tell me, how do you feel?" Toshi smiled, his heart filled with gratitude. "I feel free. My mind is no longer a burden. I still have thoughts, but they don't control me anymore. I can simply be here, in this moment, and that is enough." The monk nodded. That is the power of Zazen. It is not about achieving something or becoming someone else. It is about returning to who you already are, a being of peace, love, and presence. Toshi bowed deeply, tears welling in his eyes. "Thank you, Master. You have given me more than I ever imagined." But the monk shook his head gently. "I only showed you the path. It was you who walked it. Remember, peace is always within you. It is simply a matter of returning to the present moment, again and again." Toshi's story is a reminder for all of us. We live in a world that pulls us in 1,000 different directions toward anxiety, stress, and the never-ending chase for success. But peace doesn't come from chasing anything. It comes from being fully present, from embracing the simplicity of life and quieting the mind through mindful awareness. The habit that transformed Toshi's life, Zazen, or the practice of sitting still and focusing on the present moment, is one you can adopt today. You don't need to climb a mountain or visit a distant temple to start. You only need a quiet space, a few minutes of your time, and the willingness to sit in stillness.